I am Tom. Welcome to my channel. My goal here is try to help you take the best care of your turtle or your tortoise that you best possibly can. Tonight I am coming from my office and I have something special next to me, to my left. And that something special is a new animal that I've been working with for about a month, but I think I've mentioned it on a live, and I've shown it in some shorts, but I didn't make a long form video about it. So, let's introduce you. She's got a name, and we'll just go with the fact that she's a girl for now. This is Anna the Greek Tortoise. Let's see if we can get it to focus on her shell. She is so cool. She's getting a little bit more used to me. I'm really surprised by a couple of things. Number one, how tiny her head is and how tiny her eyes are. They are super, super tiny. Matthew has joined us. Thank you. I've not kept testudo since I was like 15 years old. I had a small captive bred Russian tortoise. It was probably about 3 times the size of this one. And yeah, just tiny head, tiny little eyes compared to the Cynixus. And you know what? Really, really shy is what I have found. Yeah, exactly. Matthew says it took him a while to get used to Homiana eyes. Those are the Holmes Hinchbacks that we both work with. So they're totally different little beasts. They're cool. Shy. Not as aggressive as a little baby Hinchback. Just a little bit more calm and chill. But very cute. See if I can get this light to shine on her eye a little bit better. I don't think I'm going to be able to focus on it anyways, but yeah, so that's Anna. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear the guitar in the background? I'm upstairs, and that is my oldest son, jamming. He's getting pretty good, actually. We went to our first metal concert a couple weekends ago. It was pretty intense. But he loved it. So yeah, that's Anna. Neat little tortoise. So Matthew and I were talking a little bit about what kind of tortoise this is. This is the what they call the Annamurensis Greek tortoise. And at one time, it was actually a subspecies of Testudo ibera when Testudo ibera was going to be like a full species. But that's been split out or that's been lumped away. So this guy has no rank. These animals are from the Anamur region of southern Turkey, and they're really cool because they actually have flared carapace along the back edge of their shell. So it makes them more like the marginated tortoises, which, you know, marginated tortoises are from rocky hillsides, and they think that flattened and flared part of their shell might help them stay stable on like a rocky hillside. But yeah, I mean, there's not that many of these guys. I have a feeling Chris Leone has, the only ones, and perhaps he distributed some. This guy came from Andrew at the Arizona Tortoise Compound. And, of course, Andrew also works with Hinchbacks, so. I'm hoping that she'll prove relatively cold tolerant, because that's what I'm looking for, right? If I'm going to expand the species that I work with, I'm looking at things like box turtles, which are very cold hardy, and then there she goes. And Greek tortoises, Herman's tortoises, marginated tortoises. I think those all are possible species that I can keep outside year round or hibernate them in our garage. We have a big garage and it's heated. So I can heat that garage and really to whatever I want. So, good hibernation temperature of about 40 degrees is kind of my target. So, yep, this is Anna. Don't know if she's a boy or girl, but we're going to go with Anna because she's an Annamurensis Greek tortoise. Patrick says he has a breeding pair of northern Ibera. Hibernate them outside. Yes. Cool. Yeah, the Dalmatians Hermans are pretty neat animals. They are more northern in the Balkans, so a part of the world I don't really know too much about. But wouldn't it be cool to live in a place with lots of tortoises that just kind of run around wild? We don't have any land turtles here in Northeast Ohio. Box turtles are not here. We don't have any wood turtles. We do have spotted turtles, but I don't consider them land turtles. There's some Blandings turtles in Cuyahoga County. So I'm excited. We're gonna start slow, grow this girl up slow. I am raising this one very similar to how I raised the Cnixus in closed chamber plastic tubs, just feeding this one lots of greens. Now, I am thinking about getting her a UVB shade dweller set up, but right now she has no UVB light, just ambient light. So I'm providing Missouri tortoise chow every once in a while because that has the vitamin D3 that she needs. I don't know if she's grown. I've had her for about 3 weeks now. Thank you, Krista. Krista says, love the Greeks. It's adorable. So yeah, it's a really, really neat subspecies, the Greek, the Annamurensis Greek. Really nice kind of yellow, buttery yellow shell. I don't know how old she is. She's tiny. Like, the Hinchbacks hatch out much, much smaller. There's no doubt she hatched out much, much smaller than the Hinchbacks typically do because she's got a lot of growth on her. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but let's see. Do I have I'll use my Apple Pencil. So the growth from here to there, that's all new growth. So what do you think, Matthew? A couple months old? 6 weeks? Probably at least 2 months old. I figure she might be 6 weeks when I got her. But I don't know. Maybe she's 6 months old. I really have no idea. The other thing, these guys are a lot more shell. The shell is really, really wide. The bridge is really, really thick. And they're just a lot more shell than my Hinchbacks I'm used to working with. They're very round. Look how round that is. Hard to say if she's getting her flaring at the back, but pretty cool. That's pretty neat. We have a soundtrack tonight. It'd be interesting to when I play this back to see if you guys can hear it or not. So, but yeah. So what's is anybody planning on getting some new tortoises? Look like was that Patrick is gonna get some? Yeah, awesome. We'll have it every time. I wanted to do this on my computer, but when I got up, we had an ice storm today, guys. So power was out for like 5 hours. We don't have a generator. Megan works from home, so she really couldn't do any work, and our house was down to about 60 degrees. So that was no fun, but yeah, I hope everyone is not being too affected by this storm. Yeah, so Krista says that her shell looks a lot like her Herman's tortoise when she was a baby, and I will tell you, for the longest time, I would look at pictures of Testudo and really have no clue if it was a Greek tortoise or Herman's tortoise. I still have trouble. There are some Greek tortoises that look almost like Herman's tortoises. Yeah, sweet. I'm smitten. So Matthew says he's looking at some Pixis. Hey, that's okay. Cora Beretti, Western Hingebacks. Those are all awesome. The Pixis, I'm smitten with Pixis, guys, because at work we have a glass house full of Madagascar plants from where the Pixis live. So I'm stoked about that. And we need some Pixis at my office place. So I have a new song playing, so that's pretty cool. That is correct. Cora Beretti, Cora Galbinifrons, and I forget the third one, but they those flowerback box turtles, I remember them coming in the 90s, and the local pet shop, like at the end of the street I lived on, it was just a mom and pop place. Like some brothers started it, and they were so excited they were getting this Asian box turtle, and sure enough, it came in, and it was Galbinifrons or Beretti or the third one, I forget which. And man, it was so cool. It died in like 2 days, and they were extremely bummed. But I think it was like $400. That was it. $400. You could have yourself a Galbinifrons. Yeah, Testudo. I could get hooked on Testudo. It's even just Testudo Graeca has so many different taxa hanging out in it that we're trying to understand. Really, just one species, you could do so much with that. Yeah, Pictorata. Yeah, that's the third. So originally, Galbinifrons was the species, and then Pictorata and Beretti were split out of that species. So jamming to the guitar tonight, guys. That's my son Weston. He loves playing the guitar. It is his stress relief. It's his birthday coming up soon. Yeah, Spangleri. Yeah, any of the Asian turtles and tortoises, guys. I mean, yeah, absolutely. If you wanted one, you could. Yeah, no, thanks, Matthew. If you wanted one, yeah, no problem. You could have any of those big head turtles, any of the Asian species. I don't want to say they were a dime or dozen, but yeah, I mean, I remember those days very clearly. Yeah, what do you think? I have no clue what Greek tortoises plastrons look like, Krista, typically, but yes, please, Matthew. I'll take it. I want to join the club. Those things are so cool. They'd be great education animals, for sure. And this is my office, and I keep a few things up here. It's where my fire-bellied toads are, and I have a little aquarium back there. So this would be a nice space. I need something a little bit more engaging. That's awesome. Thank you, Matthew, for thinking of me. If you, in fact, do have one that needs a home, I'd love to take care of one. Even just to raise one up, and maybe it could go to a group sometime in the future. That'd be awesome. So slowly but surely, yeah, she's getting used to me. At first, she didn't really want to have anything to do with me. But yeah, that head, it is just so tiny. Compared to the hingebacks, it looks like someone just chopped her head off. Like, there's no nose on it. I'm feeding her greens, and then like Missouri once a week, original. I gave her some Missouri LS. I took a bite of it, but I was like, no, this is not food. So, I don't know. Like, diversity is the key for hingebacks, but when you have a baby tortoise like this, I'm pulling out of the spring mix and making sure she gets some lettuce, maybe a mustard green here or there. Yeah, and so Jay Frewer of Turtles and Tortoises Inc. and yes, absolutely, daily soaks for Anna. Back to the Spangleri. Jay has, I think, a pair for sale for like $10,000. So when they do come up, they're a pretty penny, and yeah, it's really having a Spangleri now. I think is like a badge of courage. So I have Zoom Ed food for the little one. It is so coarse. I don't know. I'm sure I could use it, but what I do add when I give her the Missouri, Will Espenshade of Capadola Farms, go listen to the Let's Talk Turtles with our interview with Will, but he is now selling ground grass, barley, wheat, and oat grass. And so what's nice about that is that you can get really good dietary fiber in a very, very small package. Thanks, Matthew. We loved having Will on. Ryan and I have the next 2 interviews scheduled, so we're excited about that, and just doing a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, the chicken food. You like that? So as far as going back to the Zoom Ed, that is what I do. I just like basically soak the Zoom Ed food in hot water typically and let that break up, and then I coat it with the greens. And I have a whole YouTube video that I'll link to the description on how I do that. Basically, I get 20 different plants from Will, and then the Zoom Ed food has like 20 things, and then yeah. So Patrick, if you check out some of my shorts, you can see our setup for growing greens in our basement. That's been really successful, so the tortoises are getting those for sure. It is so easy to grow stuff in your house, especially cold loving greens like in your basement. Um, you'll see a lot of these hydroponic systems. I mean, literally, we're putting organic soil in red Solo cups under grow lights on a plastic shelf. Uh, it would cost us like $1,000 to have gotten something similar. So, peekaboo. Yeah. Rose of Sharon, mulberry, dandelion, for sure. Those are summer foods for me. Krista soaks her Zoom Ed overnight. Absolutely, that'll do it. Soaking it with some hibiscus petals, that will also improve the eatability. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, you got your tortoise onto the good stuff. They know what they're eating. I've done that, Matthew. I buy that stuff from Will. In Columbus, we used to buy it. I used to get dandelion greens all the time from the grocery store, but where we live now, it's hard to find them. So that's a limitation we have. As far as the channel goes, I'm really going to concentrate my long form videos on tortoise care. So if you guys saw the one this weekend, all about just having the right tools to be able to know if you're doing well, right? So having a good recording thermometer, hygrometer, having an infrared temp gun, and then having a scale. Like, just having a scale is so helpful if you have a little baby tortoise like Anna, this Greek tortoise, to know if she's gaining weight, right? How many people do we see like, oh, I don't know if my baby tortoise is healthy, it's not eating. And I constantly say, well, do you have a scale, right? And they're like, no. Why do I need that? So teaching the fundamentals of turtle and tortoise keeping is really what I am gonna focus on. So yeah, Krista, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm on this turtle and tortoise keeping adventure. So we do it together, we learn from each other, we share our results, and we figure out what works best. And one of my biggest theses is that every single person has different circumstances. So there's never one right way to take care of a turtle or tortoise, right? I mean, us in the Hingeback working group, we kind of have this rule, do not keep your Hingebacks outside. Well, I keep my Westerns out in the summer for day trips. They're not outside all night, but I do it and it works. And I've had really good results. It may not work for other people. And so emphasizing learning, what parameters you need to measure so that you can see if whatever you're doing works is important. And the other thing that so many new turtle owners, they want this, right? I just happen to have this. They want that one food item that they can feed their tortoise, just like they feed their dog. We feed our dog the same exact food every day. And that is probably the worst thing you can do for a pet tortoise or turtle. Even our turtle, we feed lots of live food. I've been feeding it tons and tons of black soldier fly larvae. So just good practical advice. And what I'm doing a lot of is learning about YouTube, learning what makes videos stand out, and how to do it. And so the biggest thing I'm learning, right, is that you have to make videos for an intended audience, right? So, every video that you make, you have to think about who is your audience, who's going to relate to this, who will gain value from this video. So and to go from there. And so Dan, along those lines, is Missouri food a good everyday food for a tortoise? So what I would say is there is no good everyday food for a tortoise. That is, in nature, they are going around sampling maybe 20 or 30 different plants every day, right? So could we feed Missouri? Oh, is it once a week? Yeah. So yeah, once a week. Yeah. The thing is to feed your tortoise as many things as you can. And I'm talking like having 50 or 75 different plant and food options for your tortoise. Now, I work with omnivorous tortoises, right? So I have a lot more options. But there's no such thing as, for a turtle or tortoise, there's no such thing as one food that you can just get and feed it for the rest of their life. When you do that, guess what? You get really, really weird looking animals that just are horrible looking. I mean, they might live, but I think there are so many different what we call secondary compounds in plants and animals. These are compounds that aren't necessary for those animals to complete their life cycle. They're there for some weird reason. And tortoises have adapted to eating like tons and tons of different plants and eating things that would kill us. And so they just have this incredible ability to eat so many different things. And so in captivity, offering them as many things as possible. And it's all based on your own circumstance, right? So I'm following this guy up in Canada who, he's a young guy, and I've tried to engage him on YouTube in some discussions. I don't know his name. I think he goes by Natural Tortoise Keepers Canada. And he like preaches the, weeds. Well, that's fine, especially if you have testudos. But what if you live in New York City? Should you not have a tortoise? He might say no. Let's be practical. You have to give people different options for their different circumstances. So every food has its trade-off, right? So if you go around and forage, that's great food for your tortoise. However, it's a pain in the butt to do. Yeah, there you go. Dan, that's great. Yeah. Take advantage of your bugs outside if you're not worried about pesticides, right? I live in Pesticide City. There's lawn and pesticides all over the place. I mean, a lot. So I'm not very comfortable feeding things that come from outside my house to my animals. So yeah, that's why we're growing a lot of it inside. But diet diversity is key. Work hard to offer lots of different things to your tortoise and keep offering them. Don't give up. Pretend they're your 3-year-old, right? Yeah, we're getting there, Dan. The next mayor of Talmadge, I'm afraid, where I lives across the street, but we'll see. So, but yeah, that's Anna. That's my world of testudo, and I love Rose of Sharon. Rose of Sharon is hibiscus. It's one of the hibiscus in the genus. But yeah, this guy's super fun. This is going to be our family pet. We have no plans of like breeding this species or anything like that. But who knows in the future what may happen. But yeah, I'm learning how to make better YouTube videos. The target is for them to come out on Sundays. This week's video, look for a trip to our reptile show, and we're going to talk about buying a turtle or a tortoise at a reptile show. So, hey, Mark's joined us. Yeah, love to search out for weeds. So. Okay, friends, thank you. That's 30 minutes. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you this weekend. Look for lots of fun shorts in the mornings and the evenings. I really appreciate you guys watching and tuning in all the videos. We're growing, almost up to 2,500. So thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.